I'm Amber Letcher, Assistant Professor within the College of Education and Human Sciences and SDSU Extension 4-H Youth Development Specialist. I'd like to talk with you about what's going on with young people when they are between the ages of 9 and 18. We'll look at 3 different age groups: 9 to 11 years, 12 to 14, and 15 to 18. Learning about these stages of development will help you work with young people and provide programs that match their needs and abilities. University research underscores the fact that kids are not little adults. They haven't had the experiences we've had, and their brains are even wired differently. So what I'm going to talk about will help you form realistic expectations of how kids may act. We can look at 4 major areas of development: physical, social, emotional, and intellectual. The patterns we'll talk about are common to most young people, but each person is unique, so young people may not always be typical of their ages. For example, you may have a child who talks to you like an adult and yet looks like a child. Different intellectual and physical levels of development. Let's begin to look at different age levels. 9 to 11-year-olds. Physically, they're quite active and have lots of energy. Girls mature faster than boys, and some may be entering puberty. Socially and emotionally, they generally see adults as authority figures. They believe punishment should be a direct consequence of misdeeds. They feel loyalty to their group, club, or gang, and they enjoy code language and passwords. They may prefer to be with members of the same sex. They have a strong need to feel accepted and worthwhile. Intellectually, they vary greatly in academic abilities, interests, and reasoning skills. They prefer concrete ideas, and they want to use their skills to explore and investigate the world. They have interests in collections and hobbies, and they may express themselves through creative writing. So what does this mean for us as adult leaders? Assist in forming groups to plan activities together and involve them fully in learning to plan. Help them plan activities using resources like Just Move Alabama to burn off energy. Vary activities to the needs of the overall group and don't rely solely on sports for physical activity. Allow plenty of times for boys to be with other boys and girls to be just with other girls. Take every opportunity to help them recognize how they are communicating with one another. For example, you should congratulate them when they are talking quietly and calmly, and redirect them if they are losing self-control. Provide correction quietly, one-on-one, in a caring and consistent manner. Don't embarrass them, a good all-around rule for working with kids. Look for successes and give positive feedback. Never play favorites, and avoid generalized praise. They'll see through it and feel manipulated. Be present for this group, in the background but visible. Plan group time to talk about beliefs and values. This group enjoys hands-on activities. Vary activities to engage rapidly changing interests and provide experiences in their world: nature walks, rope courses, trips to significant places. Characteristics of 12 to 14-year-olds. Physically, young people this age exhibit a wide range of sexual maturity and growth patterns. They're experiencing rapid changes in their physical appearance. The growth of hands and feet, nose and ears may be faster than arms and legs and face, so they may be concerned about appearance and clumsiness. Socially and emotionally, they're interested in activities that involve the opposite sex and are learning to live with the opposite sex. They look more to peers, kids their age, than to parents. They seek acceptance and trust, and they search for adult role models. They tend to regard sex in a depersonalized way. They often reject ready-made solutions from adults in favor of their own solutions. They do question authority and family values. Changes in hormones contribute to mood swings and to changes in thinking. Intellectually, justice and equity are important issues. They think abstractly and hypothetically, and they can solve problems that have more than one variable. They challenge assumptions. They can imagine consequences. They are curious about the environment. What are the implications for how we work with young people? We must provide honest information for the sexual questions and issues they have. Plan activities that are not weighted towards sexual prowess. Be patient with grooming habits, which may be excessive. Provide opportunities to be with the opposite sex in healthy ways. We involve the group in setting rules, provide realistic rules, and explain the reasons for them. Find time to talk to them individually. Plan activities that do not compare one to another. Don't use put-downs or in-the-face behaviors with them. Give them a chance to decide when and if they are on stage. Avoid singling them out in front of others to commend or criticize them. Provide opportunities to ask and question ways of doing things in the program. Let them own it. Ask questions to encourage predicting and problem solving. Characteristics of 15 to 18-year-olds. Physically, they are concerned about their body image. They exhibit smaller range in size and maturity among peers, and they tend to have a realistic view of the limits to which the body can be tested. Socially and emotionally, they tend to romanticize sexuality. They want to search for intimacy, and they test their sexual attractiveness. They can commit to following through with service. They see adults as capable of making mistakes, and they're apt to reject goals set by others. The emotional focus during this time is on independence and identity formation. Intellectually, they can imagine the impact of present behavior on the future. They consider many perspectives of a given issue. They develop theories to explain how things happen. They lose patience with meaningless activities, and they create new possibilities from information. So what does this mean for us in 4-H? Always avoid comments that criticize or compare stature, size, or shape. Involve young people in service opportunities. Involve them as spokespersons for the program. Provide them with opportunities to plan their own program and give them a sense of ownership. Plan activities that allow teens to take different roles. Be willing to be wrong. The group won't put you on a pedestal. Plan some group time during which they can discuss ideas and abstract concepts. Offer vocational and career exploration activities. Involve these teens in more upfront activities, tutoring, helping coach, leading groups, speaking to community groups about the program, or mentoring younger youth. I want to conclude by sharing some of the latest information on brain research. Kids think differently from adults. The last part of the brain to fully develop is the prefrontal cortex. That's the rational and mature part of the brain that tells the compulsive part of the brain to settle down. It's still growing until people reach their early 20s. That gives us an idea why teenagers don't always think before they act. Sometimes when we ask teens why they do some of the things they do and they say they don't know why, this may be true. Their brains didn't tell them to do any differently. Remember, some risk-taking by teens is a good thing. For some teens, joining a 4-H club or attending a 4-H event is a risk, and 4-H can do things to redirect that risk, to kayaking or rock climbing, for example. Good 4-H activities. I've given you lots of facts that I hope will help remind you just what it means to be a kid. It's important information for you as you work with SDSU Extension's 4-H Youth Development Program to make the best better. Thank you.